死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなに人が多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君、まだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ、万歳、ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランド、トライドだね。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界、季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだった大きにまたグレートになるかな。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコ掴んでいいさ。そう言い放せるで。
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Major IDOT of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on a Sunday night. And Elon and Trump are back together, ladies and gentlemen. You have the image right there. I took this picture. Obviously, look, Elon and Trump, they had, a fight. They had a falling out, whatever. Well, clearly Trump has gotten Elon back in line. As you see, there's photo evidence of it right here. He basically says, I'm going to have to smack a hoe. So there it is. So he basically decided, I'm just going to smack a hoe, get the hoe back in line, and now everything is good. Elon won't mess up again. All right. Elon asked for it. 1,000%. But yeah, so that's really exciting. We'll talk more about that for sure. And there's more Maduro memes. They will not stop. This will be a shorter episode. Then I've got a gaming stream tonight with the boys. So we'll be hopping over to D-Day Cobra Gaming after that. But first, let me say hello to everyone in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. This is Makara's in the house. What's up? Busy Steffi says, I wonder if Trump has seen that. Maybe. TVZTQ. Let's see. Stephen, Roman, Walter, Darian Murphy. What's up? The man, bro, dude. Good to see you. Mod Eric says, I can't see the mods. Emo is here. Can Man. Solo Felix. Jeff Biz Camp is here. Woodaman is here. Ray 2. Little Jim's Halo. Golden Fox. Jess is in the house. Joey. Bruce. Mo Monty. Raptor. Rusafar. Big Phrase. Shreddy. Now the chat's moving too fast. I can't even care. Little Orphan Funkhauser. No more beardos. Alan. Ryan. Shockwave Rider. Ladybug. Saltine. Good to see all of you here. All right, so we got to get this party started. First, Mod Eric says, hopefully Dictator Zelensky is next. Nas dropped 5 gifted memberships to get the party started. And it says, hail chat, gifties for those not late and gay. Look at that. Got the early birds covered. Josie's hard truth. Our president not taking out Maduro just saved the midterms. No more election fraud with Venezuela out of the picture. Or our president taking out Maduro, I'm sorry, just saved him the midterms. No more election fraud with Venezuela out of the picture. It's interesting you bring that up because I actually have a video from Benny Johnson that I have not watched yet. And I know that we have our Benny Johnson hater in the chat who always whines about Benny. So in particular, I always want to make sure I bring up a Benny Johnson video to piss you in particular off, just because I know how much it bothers you. And that's enough for me. So if you're upset, I'm happy. That's just how it works. So I hope that you're in the chat. I already saw you were in the chat. So you'll start crying about Benny Johnson here in just a minute. There it is. Maggot Vomit. He is so mad. He hates Benny so much. And I love making you mad. What's up, Laughing Man? Says, I'm not here. Laughing Man, not here. So Benny Johnson says, I was just told the real reason Trump arrested Maduro. It's not what you think. We'll see. Let's see. Here's Benny.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. The election of 2020 was 6 long years ago, but looking at the results, it still stings a bit because, well, it's clearly stolen. It makes my blood boil. It makes me visibly angry watching states like Arizona get stolen in the dark of night. President Trump was up by like 10 points in this state. And then look here, just 10,000 votes, and they hand it very quickly right over.
Goes back to my argument, the argument that I have had since day one of the 2024 election. If you supported anyone but Donald Trump, you were supporting not America at that point in time. Whether if you were supporting DeSantis, if you were supporting Vivek, whoever you were supporting, you were not supporting America because Trump had to win. Trump had to win to get us to this point because we have to right the wrongs of 2020. It has to happen. We can't let that go unchecked. If the 2020 election goes unchecked, we don't have a country. We don't have one.
Over to Joe Biden. The same thing in the state of Georgia. This is a state that was clearly a Trump victory state. Joe Biden barely got any support, but you can see here in the dark of night, Joe Biden gets just a few extra votes in order to put him up over the top, 49.5%, 49.2%. Such small margins, really. It's like almost mathematically impossible, especially if you look at the vote totals.
And it is impossible, and we all watched it. Again, I'll repeat what I've said many times, but we all sat there on election night 2020 and witnessed the same exact pattern as 2016. And now they want to, now it's a little more easy to talk about that, but at the time you were not allowed to talk about it, but we witnessed it. Everything the night of the 2020 election was going in the same exact path as 2016. And then suddenly they stopped voting. And we're like, what do you mean you're stopped voting? We watched it. We watched it happen in real time. And then we wake up the next day and Joe Biden is suddenly in the lead.
And that's where this guy comes in. This is part of the reason why I personally believe President Trump was so dead set on arresting Nicolas Maduro. And I have this on good authority. I want to just talk with you about a phone call that I had with a friend of mine who is in, let's just say, clandestine diplomatic circles, been doing it for a while, and is at a top level.
Did I say stopped voting? I meant stopped counting. My bad. I am retarded. So stopped counting, not stopped voting. Stopped counting the votes. How about that?
One of those levels of statecraft where he's actually met one-on-one with Nicolas Maduro. Doesn't make him a bad person. It's just what people do in his line of work. And he's had conversations with Nicolas Maduro and his team.
Somebody says Saddam Hussein 2.0. Is it racist for me to say that if you put this guy and Saddam Hussein side by side, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference? Just being honest. You could have literally just put a picture of Saddam Hussein up and I would be like, oh, they got him.
And what did my buddy have to say about the arrest of Nicolas Maduro? And I find this particularly fascinating. There is a concept, an idea out there that Venezuela is this independent state that voted for a president and Nicolas Maduro is their president. This is, of course, a lie. The people of Venezuela voted overwhelmingly for a different man to be their president. And this just happened last year. But Nicolas Maduro was able to steal that election, was able to manipulate. Even though millions and millions of people voted against him, he was able to use the machines in Venezuela to manipulate the election totals and win his election and just seize power. He's an illegitimate dictator, autocrat. He's somebody who very much fancies himself a king, right? Not responsible to the people. And yet he's being defended by the left, who marches in the streets claiming no kings, but they're the ones supporting this literal king, right? He has no right to rule. He was voted out of office, but he used the machinery of Venezuelan election technology to stay in office. And this is the way that communists in Venezuela have stayed in office for the better part of the last 3 decades. And this is what was fascinating to me in this conversation with my buddy in clandestine diplomatic circles. He explained to me that this technology has been shipped around the world. It's a very stupid decision by Western leaders and leaders around the globe alike to allow this Venezuelan technology to be imported into their countries, unless, of course, that technology promised to be able to deliver results like this. Ladies and gentlemen, Smartmatic and Dominion.
I think that the election fraud stuff is so deep. I think there's so many layers to it. I think there's probably some very simple answers at like a high level, but I think that it goes very deep. And it is just like a tangled web of insanity. But there's high level stuff that's going to be very simple to understand. But I think that it's deep within the core and the fabric of the system. And I think it's going to be hell to try to unpack all of this. I mean, just look at California, for instance. I mean, there's no way you're going to convince me that California has legitimate elections. There's just no way. And that's one of the biggest economies in the entire world. It's in New York is another one.
Voting systems were the voting systems being used at this time and in these states and all around the world. They are Venezuelan by design and by systems and storage facilities and through their actual technology. These systems, I have on extremely good authority, can and do rig elections around the world. Now, how does this lead us to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro? Well, Nicolas Maduro knows where all the bodies are buried. Venezuela is effectively just a proxy state that was being run by Russia and China and Iran. They were running operations here against America using, yes, the election rigging technology, also using chemical warfare, this in the form of fentanyl, and biological warfare in the form of flooding our nation with third world criminal aliens, migrants to collapse our.
Yeah, if you think that Trump's focus on this 2020 election isn't at the forefront of everything he's doing right now, you don't know Donald Trump. There is no way that Trump is going to let this go unchecked. There's just no way it's going to happen. I think he's being methodical about it. I think that he has dialed back the language, talking about it as much as he was, especially like during the lead up to the 2024 election. He talked about it a lot in the lead up, but he hasn't been talking about it a lot. He does talk about it occasionally here and there. But I think that he is being very methodical about this. I think he is absolutely furious about what happened in 2020, as he should be. Now, again, hindsight is everything, but like, yeah, we can look back and go, as I've said, we had to go through 2020 in order to get to 2024 and everything that we've experienced. So it was hell, to get through all of that, but it needed to happen. 2020 needed to go the way that it went in order, because right now, if 2020 is legit, and obviously none of this stuff is legit, but if it's legit to the point where Trump wins, Trump would theoretically not be in office right now. And I don't know what we're dealing with at this moment. I have no idea. I don't know who is in office, because Mike Pence was his fucking vice president at that time, which was a terrible pick. So, that's something to note.
Systems, right? And this is what they're doing. This is the Cloward-Piven model. You flood welfare states with criminal aliens that need to suck up all the welfare and resources, and you eventually get to a point where your debt is so big it becomes untenable and it collapses. So whether it's killing people, millions of people with fentanyl, which is a chemical weapon, or biological weapon, or destroying democracy with electronic weapons like the electronic voting systems. And here is what I find particularly fascinating about my conversation is that this individual tells me that Nicolas Maduro admits to rigging the election. Just straight up said that Nicolas Maduro told him directly that he has direct, hard evidence of the election of 2020 being rigged, that he knows exactly how it was done, that they had a hand in it, but it wasn't really Venezuela running the op. It was probably more likely China. And that he is in possession of all of that evidence.
Oh, please let this be the truth. Please. If this is legit and if this actually is the truth, you know why the Democrats are so upset about this. Because they don't like the fact that Maduro is alive and in custody.
What? This is why you see the globalists around the world just bricking in their pants. They're terrified because Venezuela was ground zero for election theft, for the warfare and ops that were run against our country by other nations.
Yeah, I know Trump is live on Air Force One with the press, but I someone said that Lindsey Graham is with him, and if that's the case, there are a few voices on the planet that I would rather like. I can't think of a worse voice on the planet to hear than Lindsey Graham's voice. If in fact he is there with Trump, that's what I heard, and the audio is usually bad on those anyway.
And Nicolas Maduro might be Trump's final revenge for the election theft of 2020. If he begins to sing like a canary, which he will, they always do, then who will he give up? Soros? China? Left-wing NGOs? Left-wing billionaires? Who was funding his regime? How they stole the election? He'll sing. He'll tell them everything. They got his wife. This is why they took him alive. I learned all this from my conversation, and it really checks out, quite frankly. It really checks out. And this is something that makes a ton of sense to me. And if you don't believe me, well, then just listen to the President of the United States. You'd think that Donald Trump would be banging his chest on Truth Social, talking maybe about all of the things that they were able to do in Venezuela, perhaps some of the drug smuggling or open borders. But no, instead, Donald Trump, in the small hours after Nicolas Maduro was arrested, has gone on a rampage posting election theft videos that prove that the election was stolen in 2020. Is that a coincidence, many are asking? Nope, don't think so.
It's not a coincidence. Again, Trump has not, he's talked about it some here and there, not nearly as much as before during the campaign of 2024. He hasn't talked about it as much since becoming president, here and there, but this is not a coincidence at all, the timing of this, not one bit.
Venezuelan military intelligence whistleblower confirmed that the CIA outsources election rigging technology like Smartmatic into Venezuela. Donald Trump has posted clip after clip after clip saying these voting systems are crooked and rigged. Carrie Lake, somebody who I believe is also a victim of this, saying that the Venezuelan regime is responsible for rigging elections and election interference and election fraud. No one would know better than Carrie Lake. So, yeah, we must focus all of our energy and might on election fraud, says Donald Trump. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why I called it a doomsday for the globalist left. This post has since gone viral. And, well, it looks like Donald Trump is zeroing in on what the...
But again, you have to remember there's a lot of people on the conservative side that were very, very upset over this situation because, they keep saying nothing ever happens. And then when something happens, they cry about the something happening. And then the next day they say nothing ever happens. So as I said, I had a message for them right here. To all Americans feeling emotional and upset about what happened last night in Venezuela, I hope you know that we all see you and hear you. And we're laughing at you because you're gay and retarded. And I stand by that over and over again. You are the gayest and the most retarded people on the planet. All you do is cry. All you do is listen to bullshit that is not even legitimate or real. And then you make up a narrative about that. But listen, I have new video of the new president of Venezuela. That's right. That's right. Here it is. The new president of Venezuela right here.
Hola amigos, yo soy su nuevo presidente, el señor Donaldo J. Trump. Your ex-presidente, el señor Maduro, is no longer your presidente. He kept talking shit, you know, and fucking around, though, and he ultimately found out, though. Anyway, we're going to make Venezuela grande again. Mucho grande. El bigger, el better than ever before. We're going to drill, baby drill. We're going to have a big, beautiful fiesta, all the tacos you want. Mucho mariachi, sexy mamacitas, and delicious margaritas. And President Trump is going to be el DJ, okay? Muchas gracias, muchachos. Y let's make el Venezuela grande again. Arriba el Venezuela, amigos.
Oh, man. Let's go back to Penny's video.
Real problem is, listen, you can't run a country like this. You can't have a country where people don't trust their elections or their federal government or any institution. And that country collapses and collapses quickly. And so, ladies and gentlemen, here's just one example of the many videos that President Trump posted on Truth Social about election fraud right after arresting Maduro. Can it be more clear?
I'm going to flash forward to 2 o'clock in the morning. At midnight, Trump was ahead 10%, which was an unusually high amount. To about 2 o'clock in the morning, my monitor went down. It totally rebooted. So unless you can tell me there wasn't a data dump, there wasn't a data breach, I don't believe that the numbers were true, because when I went home and woke up, all of a sudden Biden was ahead.
I found that there were about 25,000 ballots that were not printed from the official Dominion PDF ballot. In other words, the printing process, appearance is completely different than what you would get from a first-generation PDF printing.
Do you believe votes were manipulated, changed electronically in favor of Joe Biden? And if so, how was it done?
Well, I certainly do believe it, sir, because I saw it on TV on the crawls underneath television coverage of the election. At least 2 cases. One had about 12,000 votes that magically.
Well, again, we don't, and I know that these clips are being played because it's valid stuff, but it's like, we all witnessed it. I don't need all of these people to tell me what I watched and witnessed, because I witnessed it just like all of you did. Now, the media, the mainstream media, the mainstream liberal media has tried to tell us that it didn't happen, that what we saw with our own eyes, we did not witness that. Nobody's buying that bullshit. Nandy for 50 says Maduro is not a legitimate head of state in the U.S. and EU. His cartel was declared a terrorist organization, meaning the U.S. can use the military without the U.S. congressional approval. If this is a regime change, why is Maduro's VP the prez? Exactly. And right now they are working with this VP. Again, there's a lot more details that we're going to learn from this, but you have a lot of virtue signaling clowns on social media that their entire existence is meant to be fake offended over things that aren't even confirmed. I saw Dave Smith responding to a tweet that wasn't even legit, taking shots at President Trump again. I saw the Department of Homeland Security responded. I saw Community Notes were involved, whatever. So Dave Smith just, I've said this before about that Leading Report Twitter account. Leading Report just posts bullshit all the time. Half the time, they don't ever reference who their sources are. And it's just like, where did you get this information from? And they take like quotes. They're very good at how they do it. But it's like they put a quote that somebody says something and they build like a slight narrative around it, and people eat it up, and they don't actually do the research to see like, well, what are the sources behind this? Where are you getting this information from? Nobody's even asking that about a lot of this stuff.
Went from Trump to Biden, another one about 20,000 votes. And both times, Trump's numbers decreased by exactly the number that Biden's increased. And so before any of this came about, I just had a strong inkling that something was afoot here.
Did you know that in 2008, 500,000 voters, or nearly 19% of all voters in Minnesota, registered on Election Day? And
the fact that Scott Pressler sounds more masculine than Lindsey Graham says everything you need to know about Lindsey Graham.
And did you know that former Senator Al Franken was elected by 312 votes? So I'm not alleging anything on the program, but what I am saying is that this vouching system, which clearly opens the door for potential fraud, could swing statewide elections.
And I'll leave you with this, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take
Yes.
my word for it. What about Alex Jones?
Are they going to now have Maduro expose Pelosi and the Democrats and the Clintons and the Bushes for the drug dealing they've been involved in? I wouldn't hold your breath with the prosecutors, but definitely Trump is ending the U.S. sanctioning and laundering the money and supporting it and the election fraud. Because it's not Venezuela and China running it. It's the CIA deep state through China, through Venezuela and Cuba doing it. So Cuba's in deep trouble. Mexico and Scheinbaum, its operations in trouble. Their mothership, Venezuela, that had all this incredible budget and all this incredible money, not for its people, but for control, that's gone. And so Trump's leaving this current government in there. They'd already had Maduro about to go and put in this new puppet. He's like, we're not going to have your puppet. We're going to come in, stabilize it, crank up your production again.
I'd like to point out that I am now reacting to Benny reacting to Alex Jones. And if there's a reaction of someone reacting to me, reacting to Benny, reacting to Alex Jones, and then I will react to the person reacting to me, reacting to Benny, reacting to Alex Jones.
And let me back on. And we're going to fix this. And it's going to work. Because they have so much wealth. So this is a big deal, folks. On this day, today.
Alex Jones, saying the exact same thing.
We don't need I don't need anyone to tell me what's happening because I saw it. We all witnessed it. The question is Trump actually going to, is he doing this for the reason of exposing 2020's election fraud? And not just 2020, because let's be real, like it's 2020 is just one piece to it, but if you can expose that, it blows the lid off of it. And then you're talking about how much corruption and fraud has been going on all over this country. Now, do I think that there's some states that would absolutely vote blue no matter what? Yes. Do I think that California is legit? No. Do I think that Texas is legit? And I know Texas is red, but Texas should not be even close to being where it's at. But Texas, I think, is very corrupt with how close it's getting to becoming almost a purple state. New York, I don't know what the hell to believe about New York. I don't think there's hardly any white people left in New York to vote anyway. But yeah, I think that 2020 is just one piece to a massive, massive puzzle that if Trump doesn't get to the bottom of it, nobody's going to get to the bottom of it. Nobody else has the power and the clout that he has. He's the only person that can get to the bottom of this. And I hope this is the primary focus of his. I believe it is. So time will tell. But we shall see. Okay. So again, I am talking about Elon and Trump getting back together. I do have the image of the family photo of Elon and Trump. We're going to talk about that soon. So give me just a moment here. We've got Mike Hill says at Critics' Choice Awards, they tried to impersonate Donald Trump to announce Jimmy Kimmel as the best talk show winner. Did they really? I'll have to see if I can find that clip. Darian Murphy says, is it me or is Landman very female focused? I mean, there's a lot of hot women on the show, which is always a positive. I guess it's a slightly more female focused, but I don't think that's in a negative way. I think there's a lot of hot women on that show, and Billy Bob's still crushing it. So I love the show Landman. I like the dynamic with with Tommy and TL. I won't get into any specifics or anything like that if you're not caught up, but like I've been enjoying Landman. The last 2 episodes have been a slight step back, but the 2 episodes prior to that were some of the best shows I've seen, best episodes I've seen. So, but yeah, it's very good show. Very good show. The dialogue is fantastic. Billy Bob Thornton crushes it in this show. I'm very much enjoying it. So, all right. So let's see here. We've got Uncle Bubba says, what if Maduro gets Epsteined? I mean, that's obviously a concern. I'm sure that they are putting the right security around him, hopefully. River Miles says, I.O. Uno. What the hell are you saying here? Thank you, River Miles. I'm not, send that one to Beardo. He'll try to read it. Thank you, River Miles, for the 10. Let's see. Storm Aries says, had to quit X when my wife got mad. I refused to mute Blair White. So you're my only news source. Thank you for the live streams. D-Day Corn Snake. Look, getting off of Twitter is probably good in a lot of ways. I don't spend as much time on Twitter as I used to. You know, it's I think that it's very important to take a social media break, except for CobraCast. You can never take a break from CobraCast. But taking a social media break like Facebook, Twitter, all of that, I think that's very, very important. So Drakon says, anyone remember Chris's Fartgate Pepperidge Farm? Remembers. Those are on G&G clips, I think. Trent Johnson says, Happy New Year to my favorite gay YouTuber. Gonzo Sean says, Maggot Yawn Tax. Lynch Pin says, doing great work, Jeremy. What happened to Tabletop? We just shut Tabletop down. We were overextended. We have too many things going on, and we just weren't able. We just, you know, sometimes we were spread too thin with too many channels and too much focus and putting too many resources out there. Cole Heller says, hey, Jeremy, still trying to get over the flu. I guess that we are going to be the 52nd state now. Hope you're doing well, bro. See you in March. Yeah, man, I hear you on that. I had it. It was rough. It sucked. So hope you get better soon, man. Get some rest. Dark Red Knight says, Beardo and wrestling stream win. Soon. I'm thinking on a Thursday this month, hopefully. We'll see. I don't have an exact time on that, but hopefully soon. All right. Let's see here. No More Beardo says, why is Democrats literally had printed signs in less than 7 hours to protest Maduro's release? It's interesting how that works, isn't it? Very interesting. Let's see. Storm Shadow says, to stay alive in prison, don't be a Clinton adjacent. The Jupiter Knight says, perhaps Brandon Herrera was cheated out of Texas election. I remember that. River Miles says, Elon deserved that black guy. Took it like a champ. I agree. Charlie D'Angelo becomes a new member. Thank you. Penelope says, Iran is free tonight. Iranians are thanking Trump. Diego for 3,000 ARS. It's like $2. The super chat was $200 10 years ago, $2,000 25 years ago. Now it's $2. Why? Because we lived 20 years from Sao Paulo Forum socialism, same kind of socialism you have right now in your Democrat Party. And whoever is on the right is concerned about Maduro's arrest. That's the traitor. Look at that. That was $200 10 years ago. Damn it. Just missed out. We just missed out. That's all right. Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate the information. A lot of people saw that. Yes, Dan Vaz. That's a Dan Vaz level super chat right there. Kate says, talking about the states, I'm from Northern Virginia. 88% of November's votes for the Democratic supermajority came from 4 counties in Northern Virginia. The other 4 counties, 94 counties, will never have a voice again. And that is the big time problem with a lot of this voter fraud that's out there. Absolutely. All right, let's talk about Elon and Trump. Now, you guys know Elon and Trump had, a major falling out not too long ago. Elon posted some stuff about Trump on Twitter, said he's in the Epstein files, all this shit. And then, Trump didn't really respond too much. Trump didn't respond too much. You could tell that Trump wasn't happy about it. You know what I mean? Trump didn't love the fight with Elon, but it is what it is. I think that Elon is exactly what Trump described him as. And I have the tweet right here, which is still one of the funniest moments it's just one of the funniest moments ever when Trump and Elon, when they got into their fight, trying to see if I can find the actual tweet. I don't think I could find the actual tweet. But when Trump and Elon got in their fight, Trump was asked about Elon, and Trump said that Elon is 80% super genius and 20% he's got some problems. He said that in an interview when asked about Elon. And of course, Elon responded to that and said, I agree. I'm like, and this was when they were at odds with each other. So right here, breaking President Trump confirms Elon Musk is back after their dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Quote, Elon's great. I say about Elon, 80% super genius, 20% he makes mistakes. It was actually, he's got some problems. He's a good guy, a well-meaning person. And so Elon last night with President Trump and Melania right here had a lovely dinner last night with POTUS and FLOTUS. 2026 is going to be amazing. This is exactly what is needed. Now, last I checked, Elon Musk is now worth like $700 billion. I got to look this up. All right. Let's see. Richest. Let's see. Let me see the richest people in the world list. Elon. Look at this right here. Oh my God, fucking pop-ups. The world's 10 wealthiest people are worth more than Amazon after getting nearly 600 billion, blah, blah, blah. So where's the list at? Do we have a list? Good God. I just want to see a fucking list. Just give me a fucking list. All right. I can't find the list. Let me see if I can find the list. I don't care about your fucking article, Business Insider. Business Insider sucks anyway. So as of early January 2026, Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, remains the richest person in the world, with his net worth fluctuating, but generally holding around $600 to $700 billion. That makes him substantially richer than every other person on the list. It's crazy. Right here is the list. So Elon Musk is worth, and this is real time on Forbes, Elon Musk is worth $717 billion. Number two, Larry Page is at $258 billion. That's insane. That is insane. You can literally take you could take these three guys and combine them, and they barely would be what Elon is. Good Lord. So anyway, there you have it. So Elon has now committed to funding Republicans for the 2026 midterms. So that's good news. And having him and Trump back on the same page, it's a win across the board. It's the one thing Democrats do not want. They don't want him and Trump on the same page. They very much celebrated when him and Trump were at odds, but unfortunately, it didn't last long at all. So I think this is very, very good news. I'm very happy to see this, and you should too. Now, will Elon say something crazy and stupid? Probably, because that's what Elon does. But I won't take it personal, because this is just what you get, man. You got to take the good with the bad sometimes. And someone like Elon Musk is just going to say, you get all of the crazy, amazing things he's able to do, but you also have to deal with some of the craziness that's involved with it. So it is what it is. Let's see. I'm missing little X, says Penelope. Yeah, remember when him and Trump, like, they would get on, like, Air Force One, Marine One? That was pretty funny. All the drugs he's on makes him weird. I am curious, does he like, what all does he do? I don't even know what if we know what all Elon does. I know that the left tries to say Trump does drugs, but he doesn't. He doesn't drink alcohol or anything. Elon, we know, does ketamine. I don't even know what ketamine is. So, shrooms and ketamine. I don't even know what the hell it is. So, Adderall, ketamine or cocaine. Yeah, I have no idea what ketamine is. I don't even know. Of course you don't. No, I don't. I'm not a fucking drug addict. So, I'm sorry. I don't have all of the drugs, knowledge of all the fucking drugs. Okay. So, let's see. Of course you don't, liar. So what now you think I'm like making that up? Like, why would I just like make that up? Is that like supposed to make me sound cool that I don't know what fucking ketamine is? Yeah, Gary can explain it. Gary knows about all that shit. So, for the record, just so you know, I've said this 1,000 times, but I know we have more people watching. Never smoked a cigarette, never done a drug, never drank alcohol. Never happened. And never will. I never will. That's just always been how I roll. Doesn't mean that I'm right or wrong, but I personally just don't think that I don't think that alcohol or drugs do anything to benefit you in any capacity whatsoever. I don't think that things that alter your state of mind are beneficial to you. I personally don't like when I am not in control. So, yeah, that's my take on it, though. Jeremy ate a lot of Culver's, though. That is true. Culver's is fantastic. Ruben Miles says, last post was I.199 Cobra Cast in Spanish, the language of our 51st state, Venezuela. I love that Trump called it Venezuela. It's the Marquard, is that how you say it? Becomes a new member. Thank you. Jules becomes a new member. Burb Shit says, look up the Demon Flying Fox. This is America video. I saw it. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. First of all, what's his name? The guy that did the This Is America song. What's his fucking name? Childish Gambino. What's his real name? He was in Disney Star Wars. Black dude. What's his name? Donald Glover. That's it. Donald Glover. I think that This Is America crap that he released all those years ago was one of the worst fucking things ever created in history. It's awful. So now you've got people that have, for those that have seen the Donald Glover This Is America garbage, now you've got people memeing Trump into that, and it's just disturbing. I have it bookmarked somewhere. Right here. Oh, this is so fucking disturbing. I don't even want to watch this shit. But Trent Johnson, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Jupiter Knight says Yoda and Elon together on that special K. Naders at Channel says Trump is a young, vibrant man. He doesn't need meds. Never heard of it. Thank goodness. Don't ever look up This Is America. It's awful. I'm not playing this fucking Trump meme on it unless somebody wants to drop like $100 for it. I'm gonna have to grift it because it's very disturbing to watch it. So I don't even like it. However, we do have this one to watch, which I thought was hilarious. Tucker Carlson on Star Wars. Okay. This is so accurate. Tucker Carlson talking about Star Wars is the greatest thing ever.
I love Tatooine. I enjoy it. I'm actually thinking of moving there in the fall. It's just such a wonderful planet. The people are so polite. Coruscant is so polluted and just gross. I see the Jawas in the street. They greet me. They ask me if I have scrap metal. Of course I say no. You can have my keychain. People ask me like, oh, on Tatooine, do you think that the Tusken Raiders are a threat? I'm like, I met 2 of them. They're okay. I met one of them while he was shooting at a pod race. It's none of my business, though. They're loud. I spoke to Jabba. He's a complicated figure. I will admit, I'm not a huge fan, but he said something that was actually quite enlightening to me the other day. He said something along the lines of Usabusa me chucha lawala wanga ebute. And when you think about it, he's right.
It's so good, dude. So spot on. That is how I've never had a problem with Tucker. I sound like Kevin Nash now. Never had a problem with Tucker. But Tucker's becoming very annoying lately. I will admit he's become very annoying. Like he had Ian Carroll on the other day. I'm like, okay, I literally can't take you seriously anymore. If you're going to, I don't have a problem with platforming, whatever. You talk about who you want, talk to whoever you want. But if you're going to have Ian fucking Carroll on to have a legitimate conversation, I can't take you seriously anymore. I just can't do it. If you're going to sit there and have Ted Cruz on and grill him, which I agree with, by the way, I hate Ted Cruz. But you're going to have Ian fucking Carroll on and treat Ian Carroll like he's not a lying piece of shit. Then whatever, dude. So Jeremy's starting to sound like Ben Shapiro. Hey, listen, man, you're a single issue voter. And if that's what you think, then I'll put a fucking yarmulke on right now and do a fucking ad read just to piss you the fuck off. Because I literally don't care. So go watch Ian fucking Carroll and he can tell you about how the Jews are ruining everything, okay? And you can go check out Dan Blazarian's fucking tweets, okay? And he can tell you all the shit you need to know. I like went after Ben Shapiro a million times on this channel. I make one comment and I got some fucking pork wallet in my comments saying I sound like Ben Shapiro, single issue voter. You are a person that needs your favorite fucking low rent YouTuber to agree with every fucking thing that you agree with. And if somebody has one opinion that doesn't line up with your worldview, suddenly everyone is Ben Shapiro to you. Go fuck yourself. I don't care. Now I'm going to do a fucking ad read just like Ben Shapiro to piss you off. Max of VT says, where my breeds at? Fantastic Knox says, so there's a tweet by Musk. He's going to give access to Starlink to people of Venezuela for free, and the left will still call him evil. They will, because they don't care. Nader's channel says, Trump is a young, vibrant man. He doesn't need meds. Oh, I got that one. Little Jim Taylor says, Mossad tax 199 payment cut. Let's go. Let's go. Dark Red Knight says, have you seen Lord of the Rings 1776? Pretty funny. I haven't seen that. I haven't. Let's see. Jeremy got baited so easily. What are you going to get from this? I'm going to get super chats. What are you going to get from it? Curious. What are you getting out of this? So your highlight of your day is getting acknowledged by me, a low quality rage baiter who begs for super chats. Okay. Well, if that's the best you're going to get out of your day, then I truly am winning. You are famous, Jeremy. I am not even close to being fucking famous. But low effort trash gets nothing. Hey, I get something. I do okay around here. Oh, you're talking about the other people. I thought you were talking about my content. I never can tell. I can't tell if you're criticizing me or everyone else when you make vague statements because they could kind of be used for one and the same. In the end of the day, if a grifter calls me out, I'm happy. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you mean by that. But with that said, we do have this clip that is getting a lot of traction right now from Marco Rubio. Big Marco crushing it. Let's listen to Meet the Press. Actually, is this the one I wanted to pull up? There was actually another one with Marco. This is not the clip. There was actually another one. I thought. Hang on. That's not the clip. I don't think. It was another one with Marco. It was what's her name? It was that chick from what's her name? Maybe this is the clip. Let's just watch this one. I don't know. Maybe this is the clip.
States need to take over the Venezuelan oil industry.
Well, we don't need to. First of all, let me go back up. We don't need Venezuela's oil. We have plenty of oil in the United States. What we're not going to allow is for the oil industry in Venezuela to be controlled by adversaries of the United States. You have to understand, why does China need their oil? Why does Russia need their oil? Why does Iran need their oil? They're not even in this continent. This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operation for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States.
Have specific oil companies.
We also want to see that oil and the proceeds from it. Hold on. We want to see the oil proceeds of that country benefit the people of Venezuela. Why have 8 million people left Venezuela? 8 million, the single largest mass migration.
Oh, a $20. It says nothing. See, that's how you grift. $20. Veronid says nothing. That is dedicated to the loser trolls that continue to get destroyed here. Listen, if I wasn't going up against my gaming stream that starts in 8 minutes, all right, I would, but we got to get through this clip here so we can put it on D-Day Cobra 2, and then we got to go play video games.
And probably in modern history left Venezuela in 2014 because all the wealth of that country was stolen to the benefit of Maduro and his cronies in the regime, but not to the benefit of people of Venezuela. You know how destabilizing 8 million migrants is? The number one fear that Brazil has, that Colombia has, that all these countries in the region have about what's happening in Venezuela and our involvement is they're afraid of another mass migration event. That's what they fear. This is deeply destabilizing stuff. It's not going to continue to happen. They are not going to come from outside of our hemisphere, destabilize our region in our own backyard, and us have to pay the price for it.
Hang on. Adults who play games are just as bad as anime fans. You realize I started a company called Geeks and Gamers, motherfucker. Did you think I was like your favorite political manosphere guy or some bullshit? No, I play video games. Not only that, I play video games for alpha males, which is what I'm going to be playing tonight, Fortnite. That's how you get laid. I'm going to start a manosphere channel built around getting chicks by playing Fortnite. All right? That's what I'm going to do. We're going to go full manosphere and how to get chicks playing Fortnite. That's going to be the newest grift for me. All right. We're working through that, but that's going to be it. And then I don't know if I could stomach it, but I'm going to try to go Animal Crossing as well, even though I don't play Animal Crossing. So Animal Crossing and Fortnite, how to get chicks by playing video games.
Not under President Trump. Number one, most of the experts that people have on television, I watch these experts and it's clown hour. Okay, these are people that have focused their entire career on the Middle East or some other part of the world because that's where all the action was. Very few of them know anything about Venezuela or the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela looks nothing like Libya. It looks nothing like Iraq. It looks nothing like Afghanistan. It looks nothing like the Middle East other than the Iranian agents that are running through there plotting against America. Okay, these are Western countries with long traditions among their at a people-to-people and cultural level and ties to the United States. So there's nothing like that. So I think people need to stop ascribing the apples and oranges here, the apples of the Middle East to the oranges of the Western Hemisphere.
But do you?
Number two, this is about the national
Interrupter.
interest
That's
of the
right.
United
Interrupter.
States. And what I'm confident of is we are in a safer and better place because we're taking it seriously. The alternative would have been to leave Maduro there as an indicted the drug trafficker, illegitimate president running the country, open invitation for all of our adversaries to do whatever they want against the United States from Venezuela. That was not going to continue. What the alternative would have been to allow a drug trafficker to continue to use national territory and elements of nation state power to further drug trafficking organizations. Read the indictment. This guy used the levers of their security apparatus not to arrest drug traffickers, but to cooperate and facilitate the trafficking of drugs
is trying
for
to
the
talk.
purpose of getting them into the United States. That's going to stop.
All right, Marco is an absolute pro at this because she tried. He has definitely gone to the Trump school of learning how to deal with these idiots. because she was trying everything in her power to interrupt him, and it did not work. She couldn't say anything. Now, this is the clip I was looking for right here.
I'm confused. Are they still wanted by the United States? Why didn't you arrest them if you are taking out the narco-terrorist regime?
You're confused? I don't know why that's confusing to you.
They're still in
I mean, it's
power.
very simple. You're not going to go in and wrap up. But you can't go. You're going to go in and suck up 5 people. They're already complaining about this one operation. Imagine the howls we would have from everybody else if we actually had to go and stay there 4 days to capture 4 other people. We got the top priority. The number one person on the list was the guy who claimed to be the president of the country.
It's beautiful because like the mainstream cries about the fact that we got Maduro, and now they're going, well, why didn't you get more? What? Good Lord.
He was not. And he was arrested along with his wife, who was also indicted. And that was a pretty sophisticated and frankly complicated operation.
It was.
It is not easy to land helicopters in the middle of the largest military base in the country. The guy lived on a military base. Land within 3 minutes, kick down his door, grab.
And Venezuela is not a small place. Like, I wonder what Venezuela is compared to Texas. I would bet that they're similar in size. I would guess that Venezuela and Texas are like similar in size. Probably Venezuela is bigger, I think. So it's like, it's not a small place. There's a lot of people there. They probably have a big military. Like, it's crazy for us to pull this off.
Grab him, put him in handcuffs, read him his rights, put him in a helicopter, and leave the country without losing any American or any American assets. That's not an easy mission. And you're asking me, why didn't we do that in 5 other places at the same time? I mean, that's absurd. I do think this is one of the most, daring, complicated, sophisticated missions this country has carried out in a very long time. Tremendous credit to the U.S. military personnel who did it. It was unbelievable and tremendous success. And today, an indicted drug trafficker who was not the legitimate president of Venezuela, who we don't recognize, the Biden administration didn't recognize, 60-something countries don't recognize, the European Union doesn't recognize, and many countries in Latin America don't recognize. He was a indicted drug trafficker. He was arrested. His wife was arrested, also
but the
indicted,
the others who are also indicted are still
system of courts.
The others who are also indicted are still in place. So that's the point of my questioning there. But you talked about not being the legitimate
So you wanted
president.
us to land in 5 other military bases?
No, I'm asking why you chose that this was the limit of the military operation. But to your point that you just made, that that Maduro was not the legitimate president.
He was the guy who was claiming to be the president.
Right. Well, the opposition.
He was the top target.
Okay.
Good Lord, man. These people are idiots. They're absolute idiots. But that's the mainstream media for you. Not surprising at all.
I'm confused.
All right. I do have to wrap this up because let's see. We got River Miles Marmillan for 50. Says, didn't Iran have a base at a drone factory in Venezuela? The type of drones that the Russians are flying into Ukraine apartment buildings. You would think the liberals would be happy now, but no, that was too much to ask. They will never be happy, no matter what we do, no matter what Trump does. It doesn't matter. Their brains are forever broken. And anyone that's ever been affiliated with Trump, they will treat them the same way. So if it's JD Vance, if it's Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, whoever carries on after Trump, they will treat them the same way. 100%. River Miles says, Jeremy whizzed on the wall based AF. Brian Stewart says, Jeremy hasn't given us Mario Kart since last year. Marmillan says, my last give a fuck with Tucker was the Fuentes thing. Not a fan of Nick, but Tucker 180'd him after the interview, after not pressing him much on anything. I agree with that too. Like I said, with Fuentes, I like listening to Fuentes when he's not on his own show. I like listening to Fuentes when he's on other people's shows because I do think that he is very well-spoken and very intelligent. He often, and this isn't a criticism of him on his show, because when you're on your show, you're going to lean into, certain things that you aren't going to do on other shows. So it just is what it is. I don't find him likable on his own show. I find him to be cringy as fuck on his own show. But when he is on someone else's show, he's actually entertaining to listen to. But the way Tucker handled it is Tucker basically handled him with kid gloves when he was on. And then as soon as like the next day, Tucker was like throwing him under the bus. I'm like, what are you doing? It was very weird. So I do agree with that. Kate says, yesterday I sat back and waited for the 94% to ask for a well-deserved Sabaton. I think we are 24 hours plus overdue. I can't do it tonight because I'm already late to my gaming stream, but for the next time we will, okay? I can't do it tonight because I'm running late. Phil, for your Fortnite anime skin, thank you. PC Man says, boomers hating on video games to display is wild. Listen, I hope it makes that person that was playing about video games, I hope it makes them, and they said it's just as bad as anime fans. I like anime too, so I hope that upsets you. Brian Stewart says, to get the girls, you just play whatever Krista plays. River Miles says, Jacoby 5 mom loves watching me play Space Invaders X. Miniature Frontic says, Jerry, before you play the game, I like girls. Jess Beckers says, this identifies as a $500 Sweeney super chat as seed money for Jeremy's new Manosphere channel. Happy New Year. Little Jim Sailor says, game tax fig Manosphere tax. Happy Jessica. No More Beardo says, don't check Discord. Oh boy, what have you guys done over there? Cody says, did you hear that Hugo Chavez tomb was blown up during the operation? I did. And Ryan 199 says, with as much ass as Trump has been kicking lately, do you think we could get Sabaton tonight? I can't because I'm late. So next time. What have I seen anime? The obvious Death Note. There's about 5 that I've seen total so far, 5 or 6. But Death Note is the standout. I think it's fantastic. I think it's like perfect storytelling. I know that's a normie one. Promised Neverland, I think it was really good. At least the first season was really good. So there's about 6 or 7, something like that. But okay, we're gonna end it there. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. We're gonna go live on D-Day Cobra Gaming, playing some Fortnite with Beardo and Jay, and I think Mo's gonna be there. So just say Studio Ghibli. I mean, I've seen a lot of those too. I've liked some of those. Some of those were kind of weird, but I've liked some of them. I've watched most of Attack on Titan, and I liked the first few seasons of Attack on Titan. The more questions that got answered, the less interested I was in Attack on Titan. But yeah. All right, and this will raid my gaming stream. So if you guys want to continue the conversation over there, Slain Hope says Cali has lots of oil, natural gas, and drug runners. Thank you, Slain Hope. All right, guys, see you over there in just a few minutes. Talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.